No excuses. In the readings today, we hear people giving excuses why they're not ready to help God, not ready to do what he asked them to do. So that's our challenge today. Make no excuses. The first reading was from the prophet Isaiah, and God says, "Who will I send?" And Isaiah said, "Not me, Lord. I'm a man of unclean lips. I'm vulgar. I say vulgar things. I'm not worthy. I'm sinful." God says, "I can fix that." And he says, the angel took a pair of tongs and got a burning coal and put it in his mouth to burn his tongue, to purify it. It's like harsh correction there. I don't know if any of you moms or dads have corrections when your children say bad words. I know sometimes at home they would put a little soap in our mouth, which reminded us, association of ideas, bad words, bad taste, don't do it. I've heard of Italian moms who've used hot pepper. So, sorry children if I just gave your parents some ideas. But God says, I will purify you. If I'm calling you, no excuses. The second reading today is Paul's first letter to the Corinthians. And Paul says, God called me to be an apostle. Even though I persecuted the church, I said, God, I can't. Jesus, I hated you. I hated Jesus. I hated Catholics. I beat them up. And now, Jesus, you're asking me to be a Catholic and to promote the Catholic religion. I believe, but how can I do that? I feel like a hypocrite. And Jesus says, no. If I ask you to do it, do it. No excuses. And then in the gospel today, Jesus comes by the Sea of Galilee and he's preaching, and he asks Peter if he can use his boat. He pushes off the shore. There's so many people crowding along the shoreline. He gets out in a boat to preach. But then after preaching, he turns to Peter and he says, Peter, I want you on my team. I want your help. Peter says, I'm just a fisherman. I'm not qualified for this. I'm not a theologian. Jesus said, I want you to be a fisher of men. You're going to be the first pope. Peter's like, no way. I don't even know what I'm doing. Jesus, no excuses. I will teach you. I will show you. There's a saying that God doesn't call the equipped. He equips the called. If he calls you, he'll equip you. He'll give you what you need. Just trust. Just follow. No one's ever fully prepared. So a good challenge for us. Sometimes we make excuses. There's things that hold us back from working for Jesus, for speaking for Jesus, for promoting our Catholic faith. Sometimes, like Isaiah, it's a feeling of unworthiness. I'm a sinful man. I'm not consistent. I don't always practice what I preach. I've heard it said that some people won't even come to church because they feel they're not worthy to even go to church, to go to Mass. I don't have my life together. People at church are people who have their lives together. Church people have their lives together, right? We all have our lives together. There's nothing wrong in our lives, no temptations. We're great in our marriages and our friendships. We've got it all together. Hardly so. But that's what some people think. No, this is a place where we come because we don't have it all together, because we need God's help. We get discouraged sometimes. We have addictions. We have compulsions. We struggle in our relationships. We're timid. We ask God to give us wisdom and boldness and strength. And sometimes just because we just don't feel we're equipped, like St. Peter. Who am I, Lord? I can't do that. I don't always know the right answer. I don't know the Bible very well. I'm not a very good speaker. I don't have that charisma. I don't have a position of influence. Jesus says, no excuses. You can do things more than you realize. Jesus asks for our availability. Just says, be available to me, and we'll do good things together. Don't worry about what might happen. Just take it as it comes and do the best you can. But I'll be with you. I'll be guiding you. I'll be inspiring you. It's just a good thing to think about. What are ways that we can work for Jesus in a sense, right? One way is just speaking up when moral issues are brought up in conversation, whether with family members or friends or at work or at school. Everything is so political now. You don't want to get caught up in the political debates. Things are kind of very unsettled and uncertain right now. But when a particular moral issue comes up, you can say, well, I have some thoughts about that. Often someone will bring it up in a way contrary to the Christian view. You don't want to start an argument, right? Sometimes we don't say anything because we don't want to make an uncomfortable situation. But it doesn't have to be an argument. We can simply say, well, some people see it that way, but others see it this way. It's kind of the Christian perspective on it. What I find interesting is sometimes those who are very vocal about an issue are wrong. But they're not timid at all about being wrong. But we who are right are very timid about presenting the other view. But we're right? Jesus' view is correct. That's not putting the other person down. It's just saying, have that conviction and courage to say, well, there's another way of looking at that. You're not shutting them down. You're just starting a conversation. So to speak on moral issues, or to speak about spiritual things when opportunities arise. If someone's going through struggle, talk about how God helps you in your struggles. Talk about how our Catholic religion gives some structure and guidance for life. Talk about how prayer encourages you. Talk about how being part of a parish is a good experience. You get to know other people. You pray for each other. Your spirits are lifted on Sunday with the music and the prayers. How it makes you feel good and a little more confident entering into the week. So just when the opportunity arises, talk about Jesus or our Catholic faith or the prayer life. And then also be available just to respond to people's needs, right? To do something, to help. Sometimes just to be available to get involved in some ministry or some activity or some volunteer work, to bring the love of Jesus to others. And you don't have to be the leader of it, you just be participating in it. But just that availability. One way to do that is we're here on Sunday, right? This is so good that we're here. Sunday by Sunday we come and we just say, Lord, I'm going to try to be available for the next 7 days. I don't know what's going to unfold in the next 7 days. I don't know who's going to win the Super Bowl tonight. I don't know, Lord, but I'm going to try to be available for the next 7 days and see what opportunities come up. But then every morning, do a little morning prayer, a little morning offering, day by day. Lord, I'm going to try to be available today. Maybe yesterday I missed the opportunity. I wasn't courageous enough or generous enough. I was too timid, a little too self-centered. But today I'll try again. I'll try to be available today, Lord, for whatever opportunities come up to speak for you, to bring your views, your perspective, or your charity to the world. So my brothers and sisters, to try to have that boldness of Isaiah and Paul and Peter, right? That availability to Jesus. And don't be afraid. No excuses. Amen.